thanks so much for joining me. I found out I want to share some things that I've learned about Samoan girls over these past many years, but that's not why I'm out here hiding in the woods. I also found out that my wife and kids have a secret power. So the secret power is, wait, I think someone's coming. All right, they're not here right now, but they could be here any minute. So I know that this secret power, which is like a superpower, they're like X-Men or something. I've never seen anything like it, and I just realized it after all these years. So I don't know if I'm in danger, but please pray for me. It's not safe out here. I'm gonna talk to you later tonight and tell you everything I learned. Plus, stay tuned to the very end because you're gonna learn about their superpower. I'm so scared. I'm gonna head back in the woods. I'll see you tonight. Malo sefu, everyone. So I think it's safe out here. My wife is inside playing games and she's totally focused on that. The kids are focused on their own thing. So I think I'm safe out here to tell you about a few things I've learned. Now, this doesn't mean everybody will have the same experience. This is basically coming from a Palangese perspective. So if you're a Palangi or a Kiwi or an Aussie or African American or from China or from Russia and you're thinking about getting involved or maybe a loving relationship with a Samoan woman, I hope a few of my tips will help you decide what you should do. All right, let's get started. So besides these about 14 different tips of things I've learned, I'm also going to go over the most important thing, this superpower that I was telling you about, where I think my wife and kids are X-Men. I'll show you that and show you why I think that towards the end of the video probably. So to start with, just remember, I'm not trying to teach anyone anything about Samoan women as far as from a Samoan's perspective. I'm not Samoan. I have no Samoan in my DNA. I'm just saying everything from an old Palangese perspective, okay? So the first one that you should know is when you first start dating and you're meeting other people in the family, number one is everyone is a cousin. I mean, everyone. So we would go to a big function or a church or a family picnic or something, and she'd introduce me and say, hey, this is Leela, or this is Rita, or whoever. I said, oh, who are they? You know, I'd ask her later. She goes, oh, that's my cousin. And later on, I think about it, and for Palangis, a cousin is your mom or dad's sister or brother's children. That's it. Nobody else is a cousin. So I'd say, so that's your cousin on your mom's side, your dad's side? She go, oh, my mom's side. I said, oh, it's your mom's sister's child or your mom's brother's child? She goes, no, it's my, it's like my sister's great aunt, Ruta, and then her third cousin had a husband that, you know, once went to England, and he met this one girl and they had her, so that's her. That's my cousin. I'm like, okay. I don't get it. And it took me a while to stop wanting to argue about it. Like, that's not a cousin. And finally, I learned my lesson. You don't argue with a Samoan woman. They're always right, pretty much. That's number one. So number two, sorry, I had to pause the video for a second to have a little drink. My throat was getting dry. The fire is going good. It's going to be dark in like 30 minutes, like I said. So number two is, a lot of times, many Samoans, I mean, most all I've met, can speak pretty good English, right? Way better than we can speak Samoan or other language. So credits to them for knowing so much English as they do. But sometimes they're pronounce things differently or have different words for common things that you say every day in English. So Like I would say, oh, you like this can of spaghetti, honey? When she asked me to buy one, she goes, yeah, I love spaghetti. I'm like, you mean spaghetti? She goes, no, it's spaghetti. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I didn't really know anything about the alphabet either. And she would say stuff. So like when I bought my kids a backpack, she would call it a packback. Like reverse the P and the B, which is very common. She does that all the time. There's also things like the word taro is T-A-R-O. So sometimes the T's are K's. And that's more of a modern way they say it. So it may be kalo. And then sometimes the L's are R's. So they might say, instead of karo, they say kalo. So the main thing is, don't correct your Samoan girlfriend or wife. Let her pronounce things the way she wants. And once you learn and hear the language enough, you will learn to accept it and understand it. Don't be freaked out at the beginning if you don't understand why they're flipping some letters around. Just don't argue with them. Again, they're always right, so don't argue with them. The third thing is, sometimes if you ever promise your girlfriend or your fiance or your brand new Samoan wife that you're going to take her out to dinner, like later on when you're hungry, honey, we'll go out to dinner. And she's like, oh, okay, thank you. Or you may like to cook like I do. I love to cook. That's the only reason that I cook all the time is I won't let my wife cook. I love to do it so much and she allows me to do that. So I love her for that. But sometimes she might say later in the evening, she goes, I'm hungry, honey. I'm hungry. Or she might say, honey, ofia ai, which means she's hungry. So don't take that as, oh, you're playing your games, you're playing Halo or whatever you're playing, and you can wait another 2 hours before you take her. Even though she's saying it sweet, inside of her heart, she's actually saying, I'm hungry, vave, like, I am hungry now. So do not turn your hungry girlfriend into a hangry girlfriend. I think you've seen my wife that way before. And when she says she's hungry now. You best get off your butt and go take her to dinner or start making that spaghetti or whatever she wants to eat. Oh, the fire is feeling so nice. But let's get on before my wife comes outside or anyone hears me, because I want to get onto that superpower. So the other thing is, when you meet a lot of Samoan families, don't be surprised if you meet what Samoans call a Fafafine in a family. So basically, it kind of caught me off guard at the beginning, but it's totally accepted in Samoan culture. And a lot of times either men that dress as women or who are transitioning as women because they feel they were born a woman inside, which is very common. I know in the United States, there's half of the United States is super conservative, and they would really dislike that. Well, you have to understand, if you have those kind of feelings, you need to throw them out the window, because Samoans and Tongans, Hawaiians, they are all very acceptable of that kind of behavior and that kind of lifestyle. It's okay to be that way. They have no judgment on them. The reason why is God loves all his children. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, Samoan, Micronesian, whatever. He doesn't judge you by who you love or who you are inside or on the outside. He loves you, and they are the same way. They're very loving people, and they accept all people. So if you run into someone, don't be shocked, don't be caught off guard, and just greet them like you would any other normal person. The other thing that I've learned, another thing, is that one lesson is that you need to get something or study online and learn a little bit about the Samoan alphabet. It doesn't have as many letters as the English alphabet, and they use a lot more vowels than consonants, which is fine. That's their language. So you'll notice, though, that some things sound very similar to English words, like a cigarette. Hopefully none of you smoke, but if you do, it's okay. That's your choice. Bless you anyways. They may say, can I have a sikaleki? Or they might say, amale sikaleki? Because they want you to, give me a cigarette. And sikaleki, the way you can tell that that was not an original word that was in the Samoan language, and it's pretty much a bad habit that white people brought to the islands, is it has a K in it. So a lot of things, anything with the letters H, K, or R, I believe, HKR or He Ka Ro in the alphabet is a transformed word that was taken from an English word and made into a Samoan word because there was no original word for that kind of thing. So I forgot to mention that before when I was talking about the changing names for stuff. So that's an important lesson too. Now I want to talk about something. Hopefully nobody walking by my house hears me. But a lot of women can be passionate, but Samoan women, at least in my experience, are very, very, very passionate. They are she tigers. Okay? So if you're not a spring chicken, like I am not anymore, but if you think you can keep up with a Samoan woman, you better think again and go buy that bottle of blue pills, because they are super passionate. Hopefully, if you are considering dating or marrying, or you are married already to a Samoan woman, you've already found that out and you know what I mean. She will tire your butt out. So be prepared for a lot of patty caking. I can't state that enough. So another thing I wanted to mention is, oh gosh, what was it? Oh, that a lot of times, my wife does this all the time, and you may think you're pretty cool, you're Palangi, or you're an Aussie, or you're Kiwi, and like, I'm gonna learn a little Samoan too, and I'm gonna talk with the parents so they love me better, and stuff like that. Well, my wife her mom would be yelling at her or asking questions, like when we first met and introduced, and she'd just say, E, 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 and that's a shortened form of Ioi, which means yes. But she's saying E, which is kind of like yeah, yeah, yeah. So just because your girlfriend or your wife does that, doesn't mean you should do that. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it forever, but really, if you're going to learn Samoan language, I recommend as a Palangi to other non-Samoan or non-Polynesian people, use the appropriate words, the respectful words. So, if you're just going to say, that's why I try not to say fa, it's just like saying bye. I try to say tofa, sefua, or something, goodbye. I'm trying to say the whole thing, because I always have that in the back of my mind, that you never know who's listening to you, someone's grandmother or the elders, and they don't use the slang as much as the younger generation does. And the person you're talking to, like the guy I met in the store, I found out with a faifeau, which is a minister. And I don't want to be going E and yeah and fa to him. I want to be very respectful and respect his position. All right. So if you're coming from my perspective, try to learn the language in the correct way and don't pick up slangs. If you use slang later on and the family is okay with it, then that's between you and the family. But I always try to be respectful to everyone. Another lesson I learned is that Samoan women, whether they say they are or not, are super strong. I'm talking about Popeye eating their spinach strong. So remember the story, if you watched one of our videos of how I married a Samoan, I think the first one with my wife, she was talking about when I ran over her foot with the car. So this is almost a 4,000-pound vehicle, and she was going to sit in the back to be with our youngest daughter, and my middle daughter was sitting in front with me, so she was going to get in the back that day. She had put a coffee on the back trunk of the car, and I was waiting. I saw everyone. I said, kids, you buckled in? They're like, yeah, Dad, I'm ready. And I turned the car on. I said, okay, honey, you in? And then I was waiting for her to get. I said, once Mommy gets in, we'll go. So I'm backing out. I looked behind me in the mirror to make sure no one's behind me, and then she shut the door. What she did, though, is she shut the door for some reason to go back and grab her coffee. So when she did, she put her foot under the tire, and I started to back out, and I heard, and I stopped real quick, and I braked, like, what the heck was that? Something banged on the car, and the windows were cracked because it was like summertime, and my wife's out there looking at me, and she goes, honey, foot please, car on my foot. And she was looking at me like ready to punch me in the face. And she was not screaming. She didn't go like, my foot, my foot. She was like so tough. And you ever had a wife or someone that needs you to open some olives or a pickle jar or whatever like that? If your Samoan wife pretends like she needs help opening a jar, she's just trying to make you feel more like a man. Because I'm telling you right now, she can open it with 2 fingers. They are tough. And if you're a weightlifter, a big guy, and you're like, I'm not scared of my girlfriend, Samoan girlfriend, or my Samoan wife, trust me, All it takes is a nice baseball bat or anything she can grab, and she will be just as strong with you when she sauces you upside the head. So remember, they are all strong and tough, just like Faye. When Faye goes, she's ready to fight all the time. All right. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the church and Samoans' worship of Mighty Father up above. All right. So you may have been raised where you only go to church most Sundays, but not every weekend. Or if you're Seventh-day Adventist, you went on Saturdays or whatever. But you went to church and you're like, you know, and it wasn't that big part of your life. Or when you went to church, it was like 30 minutes long, maybe 45 minutes, and then you went straight home or went out to eat, dressed up, took your clothes off when you got home, and went back to doing what you normally do, and you forgot about church and God for the whole week. Not saying everyone out there does that, obviously, but I'm saying there are a lot of people that I know personally that are that way. And so they're like weekend Christians, and then the rest of the week they act like they're not Christians at all, unfortunately. So Samoans especially, I would say 99.9% are truly children of God. So if you think you're going to go to church for 30 minutes, don't be surprised when you're there for 3 hours, because when the speeches start and the sermons start, they last a long time. Not only will the Fafafine give prayers and readings out of the Bible or the book, also maybe the lay ministers will as well, and then you might have some of the elders of the church stand up and speak as well. And it's not like a 1 second or 2 minute speech, it's like a 20-minute speech. Okay, so it's a long time, and it's not just on the weekend. You may have pese practice, which is singing prayer, like choir practice during the week. And then in another day, a couple of days later, you have a Bible study. So it is a huge part of their life. That's why you see a lot of Samoan channels, people will do blessings. A lot of times we'll do blessings in the morning, and we have gotten a bad habit of not doing it right before we eat. But we do pray every morning that everything we do is blessed by Heavenly Father. And we do it at night every time, and that's something we've instilled in our children. So hopefully you forgive us of our little faux pas when we don't do it, but we're trying our best, and just don't be surprised. The good news though is at the end of every church service usually is a feast. Everyone brings everything. I used to bring pani popo every weekend when we went to my father-in-law's church, who was a Fafafine, and the women loved it, and that's why I learned to make it. I think just them telling me how good it was made me happy to make it. So the bottom line is, if you're on the fence and you're not really super a believer that Jesus died for our sins, then I'm telling you right now, before you take that Samoan girlfriend or fiance and you actually make that commitment to marry her and be her soulmate for the rest of your life, you best find Jesus, boy. I'm telling you right now. It's getting dark now. It's almost getting dark. Hopefully you can still see me. I don't really have a lot of light out here. But I think we only have like 5 left to go. So the other thing is, you've heard the expression that when you marry a Polynesian or a Samoan, you marry the whole family. Well, that is true. Don't be surprised if the family moves in with you for a while, or you move in with your family. At first, as a Polani, I was shocked. I'm like, they wanted to move in and say we had a small apartment. I said, there's only one bed. They don't care about that. Okay? They're not inconvenienced by the lack of a bed. They will have one closet usually in the house, and there might be 10 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment, but they allow blankets and mats at nighttime, and everyone sleeps on the floor together, and they don't complain about it. Whereas if you're, no offense, but if you're a rich, spoiled white person growing up, you're like, I have to have my own bedroom, or I have to have this. Not saying a lot of us grew up like that, because I surely didn't, but I know there are people out there like that. The Samoan people are so caring. They just want to be together. They don't need all the fancy things like some people do. As long as the family's together, they're happy. So don't be surprised if maybe part of your marriage you'll be living with the family, or some of the family will be living with you, because family is everything. The other thing that caught me off guard a little bit, and I thought they were joking, but they're serious, is that don't be surprised if you have a couple of children and your wife's pregnant again for the third time, that people will offer in the family to adopt your child. They're like, oh, the next, or they say, we've had so many people when Beautiful was a little girl saying, oh, if you have another baby, could you please give them to us? We'd like to adopt them. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And my wife in the car says, oh, if I have another baby, I want to keep it. I'm like, well, of course. What did you mean? She goes, well, they want to adopt it. I'm like, well, they're just saying that to be nice. And no, they're not. They're being serious. They're super into family. And sometimes people can't have kids, you know, bless their hearts. I know people that can't. It makes me think of baby Malu, who was adopted recently. I think you know who I'm talking about, and their videos, the Kautais, I think. But they have a beautiful baby daughter, and they wouldn't have had that unless someone was willing to have that baby for them. But anyways, let me stop crying like a crybaby, and I say they're sincere. So an adoption's a beautiful thing in the Polynesian community, and my wife would have been raised an only child if it wasn't for adoption. She has a wonderful older brother and just a so funny, lovely younger sister that is so awesome. I love her to death. And that wouldn't have been possible without adoption. And when they adopt, they are truly their child and part of the family. The next thing I want to talk about, and this might just be on my wife, but every meal we make, pretty much 90% of the time, has to have rice with it. So it doesn't sound like much of a big deal, right? But at Thanksgiving, my first Thanksgiving I tried to make, you know that rice is a starch, right? So I made mashed potatoes, starch, sweet potatoes, starch, stuffing, a starch, homemade rolls, a starch, and I don't know what else, but I think we had like 5 starches. And then I'm all excited, like, honey, I'm so proud of everything I made. And she looks at everything, she goes, where's the rice? So if your wife's like my wife, plan on getting yourself a heavy-duty rice cooker, or learn how to make it in a pot using your knuckles. Okay, either way, plan on making some rice if you meet anyone that's even close to being like my wife. All right, well, I had to move the camera, so hopefully you can see me better now. It's getting dark. I had to bring up my ring light thing, so I'm like being blinded. But I think we only have one more thing to go before I tell you about the superpower that freaked me out. So the one thing is, a lot of times we did dances at church, or you get up and do something, or you might sing, and people come up and stick money on you. They're like, I had a EA lava once on a no shirt. I wish I had a video of that. I was so skinny. I really was. So me and my wife were dancing for something, and people were coming up and they were like sticking it. I had oil and they were sticking on my body, or they're throwing money at me. I'm like, woohoo! And we mentioned this before, but you also see this in a lot of functions. You see it at churches and everywhere. And don't get excited. If you didn't watch my other video, I want to tell you is that money is not for you. They're giving money to congratulate you on your great performance or bless you. But the money, if it's like a church, it's going to the church or the Fafafine, right? Or to help pay for the function that you're at. If you're dancing at a wedding, then the money's going to the bride and groom, right? And also a little bit of it might be going to the Fafafine who came to bless it, or any of the elders that came from thousands of miles away to come to your wedding, and they'll give a little bit to them too. But anytime someone throws money at you, don't pick it up. Later on, when you're done dancing, you know, kids will come out, or younger people come out and collect it. Don't put it in your pocket. That would be very insulting. All right, so let's get to the superpower that I found out about my wife and kids. Okay, to show you the superpower, I moved it. See my ring light? So look at my sandal here, and I'm gonna lift my foot up. And I'm going to show you. So this is my little lily white foot. And you see my toe? I can kind of move my big toe a little bit. But I can't. That's about it. I'm trying to spread my toes apart. And as you can see, they're not really spread. I can't do it. They're not spreading apart. Now though, let me put the camera back. But now I want you to watch these clips of what I found out that not only my wife can do, but my daughters can do too, and it freaked me out. All right, let's watch that real quick. Hi, Maka. Oh, I'm just coming in to see Maka. Hey, honey, how's your feet doing? Do you need me to massage them? Here, can you move your feet, sweetie, so I can see them? Oh, it says something between your toes. Can you open them for me? Okay, I'm in the kitchen now. I'm going to see if Acapella's sitting at the table. I'm just looking at her phone. I'm going to go ask her. Let me check. Hey, Acapella. I thought I saw something between your toes. Can you open up a little bit so I can see them? What the hell is going on? All right, thanks, baby. Okay, now I'm going to go into Silhouette's room. I hope she don't have the power, too. Silo, can I come in?
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing?
With a cat.
Oh, playing with kitty cat, princess.
Yeah.
Hey, I was trying to get something from between my toes, and my toes can spread like anybody else's, of course, but can I see how good yours can spread?
Okay.
Show me your foot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, spread them. Lift it out. Oh my God. Okay, thanks. Oh my God. She has it too. Do you see what I mean? That freaked me out. Now, I don't know if it's just my wife's family, but if you can do that as well and you're Samoan, let me know. It is so unique that, and you didn't really get to see all of it. My wife can spread her toes and control each one individually like my fingers, and so can my kids. It was creepy for me. It may be normal, but man, it freaked me out. They certainly deserve a chance to join the X-Men. That's for sure. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with the powers, but when it comes to people like me, I'd run. Excuse me. And now we're down to the final thing. I think this is like number 15. So if you've listened to all this, and like you said, this is not really directed at Samoan people. It's directed at people like me. If you have a girlfriend or you're thinking about asking a Samoan girl out, keep everything I said in mind, but then again, throw it all out. Because love is the most important thing, and everyone's not going to look like my wife or your girlfriend. Some are tall, some are small. Some have fairer complexions than others, some are darker than others. Some have very straight hair, very thick. Some have like naturally crazy curly hair like my wife. But no matter what they look like, or what their shape or size is, you can't deny one thing. They are all so beautiful. So if you're watching this because you're thinking about dating or engaging or marrying a Samoan, then I say go for it. Because your life's going to be filled with a lot of love. And don't forget the passion. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for enjoying our videos, and I'll see you next time. God bless each and every one of you, and I hope you have a blessed week. All right, Fafafine and peace. Making videos is my only exercise.